Hello friend, myself Mayur Patel, coach SAG and Gujarat State Chess Association. Today we will discuss the most important part of the game is the end game. Now I will discuss series of video on end game because end game is the most important part of the game in which you can win the game or draw the game. If you don't know how to win in end game, one mistake considered draw either or mat win lost. So all the square is most important in end game. Square is most important piece in end game and king is as a working piece in end game. If you take the advantage of king and king will lead, then you can win easily. In king and pawn ending, king position is most important. Now, today I will discuss the king and pawn endgame. Friend, now in this situation we have to win. So, our last square is a queening square in which you can promote the pawn as a queen. So, in the king and pawn ending, one thing is most important and that is the opposition. A law of opposition is most important thing in endgame, king and pawn endgame. So, now what is the meaning of opposition? King capture queening square by going opposite side is called opposition. Now, I will discuss in during the play king d3, king d6, king d4. Still there is no opposition. But if the king will go on c file, you have to control the. This is called 2.5 square opposition. You can memorize like that. That 2.5 square opposition is most important thing. Now if king will come here, d4, king c6, king e6. Now if king will go down, king here, pawn push, and now finally king control the queening square by going opposite side. That is the main thing. If black king going on e8 like this, you can control the d8 square by going king c7. This is the situation of opposition. And now suppose you see if the king will go on c file, you can control by going king e7 and now the square is controlled and you can promote the pawn easily. So this is the queen. This is the queen and in this is the law of opposition. In law of opposition, a pawn and h pawn, a pawn, suppose this is the a pawn, king is controlling this. A pawn and h pawn cannot be a queen because you will not get the opposition. How we can find out? Now let us see. Black king white will not get opposition. King a6, king b8, now a4, king a8, now a5, a5, king b8, Now king b6. Black will play only king 8, king b8, king 8, king b8. Now you cannot win because in the last situation, you will give the check and then king will go on a8. Now there is no square for king. If you play the king on a6, then it is stalemate. This is stalemate situation. So in even H file, this is the draw. In H file, this is the draw situation. This is the draw situation. Because king will go king g8, king h8, king g8, king h8. He will not leave the square. So you will not get any opposition like this. King g8, pawn push, king h8, and now this is the final situation that it is considered a draw because king has no space and king captured without check is called draw. So king and pawn ending is the most important thing, and if you will not understand how to get the opposition, you will not win by even a one pawn plus. Now suppose you have a two pawn here, like this. You have two pawn here and black king is here. Last move, black play king e3 to d2. But in this situation, pawn will push and this is queen. So you cannot take it. Or in like this situation, this is also a win for white because black cannot capture any pawn. So this is both pawn is supported. So this is a very difficult to even draw and black will lose. In this situation, suppose both pawn is like this, then what you will do? Now white to play. So you cannot play double. He will capture this and this is the draw. But in this situation, you have to play only one move. Now king cannot capture the c2 pawn. If he take this, pawn push. And this is win. King cannot capture this. Now king cannot capture this. So if there is a one line distance opposition, you can win. Suppose this pawn is here, another king is here, another pawn is here, c2. Black cannot win because when he go to capture this, you have to play only one square. So king cannot capture, so came back. Now what you have to do? King play. If he will go back, now pawn push. So friend, this is the important position that you can win. Now king cannot capture this, pawn push. You have to play only one square. So he cannot take. If he take, then you can a5, a6, a7. It is win. Whenever the black play this, you have a chance to play the king. And now he will come here, come nearer the king. Now if there, king here, king here. Now he has to play this. Play this. So this is the situation in which you can win easily. Friend, king and pawn ending we will discuss lot of example in this series, and at least 3-4 video you have to watch, and it is very interesting to win the king and pawn endgame. Thank you very much.